Hey, welcome to the channel, The Pop Enthusiast. I am Paul, and in today's video, in celebration of the newly released classic cartoon Pops from Adventure Time, there's a new wave of Adventure Time Pops coming out, which has been quite a while since Funko has come out with new Adventure Time Pops. But in celebration of that release, we're going to take a look at the full set that we have, and we're going to take a look at them out of box, the original Adventure Time Funko Pops. So you're not going to want to miss this. Let's get into it. So Adventure Time is one of the most beloved cartoons in the recent era. I believe started in around 2010 and ended in 2018. I think there's talk of a spin-off series with one of the characters, Fiona, the female version of the main character, and her sidekick, but we're not going to get into that in this video. Now, I was able to get most of these Funko Pops just at retail, finding them in stores or online, even Walmart. I think I got a few from online, and now they're all vaulted and hard to find and a little bit more expensive. And I'm anticipating a value increase for many of these Pops based on the release and news of the new wave, which we will talk about. But for some reason, if you don't know what Adventure Time is, and it was created and aired in 2010 on the Cartoon Network, and it's really about a boy named Finn who is adopted in a post-apocalyptic world by two humanoid dog figures, and he kind of adventures around this world with his adopted brother, who is also a dog creature who can shapeshift into pretty much anything. And so they go around this world interacting with a lot of goofy characters, and it's very, I believe, inspired by like Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. The artwork is very unique and recognizable. I believe it was all hand-drawn. But anyway, just a really great series. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. But we're going to look at 17 Adventure Time Pops from the first couple waves of this set and talk about each of the characters a little bit. So first up, the main character we have is this guy, Finn. So Finn is apparently the last human on this planet, called O is how it's spelled, I think. And he is adopted as a baby by these dog creatures. His adopted brother, Jake, who's a shape-shifting dog creature. Here's Jake. You can see his arms a little squiggly there. So they go around and have adventures and interact with all these different weird, goofy characters. So they captured the look of him and kind of his mouth, and even the pop eyes fit in a way for this character. You know, they have his white hood that he wears for an unknown reason that I'm not sure, kind of the shorts and the blue shirt and the backpack and everything. So they captured him, I believe, perfectly. There was critical acclaim for this series based on Finn's character arc, where he starts off as a kind of an immature, impulsive boy, and then he progresses into kind of a young adult and then to a more mature adult in this series, which I think spanned 10 seasons. And again, there's going to be a spin-off, I think, with one of the characters. So anyway, here is Finn. So next, as you saw a minute ago, his adoptive stepbrother and best friend, Jake, the dog, or something like a dog. And he, again, can shapeshift into anything that he wants, which often lends a lot of comedic value to different scenes within the show. But this was a really cool pop. It's takes up a lot of space to display out of the box because of its arms and kind of the width of the pop. But definitely they captured Jake perfectly as well. So Jake I would describe as someone that's just very carefree, very laid back, and gives Finn many times questionable advice and kind of is an enabler in a way, kind of as they run around having these really kind of dangerous at times adventures in this world. But there was a pop ride that they made of these two guys, which I want to show you. Now, this is one of the original pop rides that Funko came out with, where the actual pop comes out and is a separate piece, whereas now the rides are one piece and you can't take them out. This is Finn with Jake as a car, and so there's Finn with one of his favorite foods, a donut, and he is riding around in Jake as they go somewhere in this vehicle. So again, Jake can shapeshift in anything, and it was really cool that they came out with a Finn and Jake Funko Pop ride. So I think I found this at Walmart in store when it came out. So really awesome pop, one of my favorite pop rides for sure. So the next character I want to show you is another friend of Finn and Jake, and this is looks like a Game Boy. from back in the day. So this is BMO. So his name is spelled BMO, but he is pronounced BMO. And so he is Jake and Finn's living video game console. And he also plays various different technological devices for them throughout the show. And he has some important roles later on that we won't talk about right now. But definitely a very cool character, BMO. So BMO is kind of described as a kind of a loyal, trusting protector over Jake and Finn as they go about their adventures. So the next character I want to show you has two pops of herself so far, and this is Marceline. So here is Marceline, who is a 1,000-year-old vampire who becomes friends with Finn and Jake and participates in some of their adventures around this fictional world of O. So she's also a musician, which they captured as a Funko Pop as well, where she's got kind of this hat on, and there you see this is like a battle axe made into a bass. So this is her family's battle axe heirloom that she makes into this bass guitar. So Marceline, a really cool character that they captured. This is a really hefty pop, but very cool. They're both commons. So the next character, another good guy and a main character of the series, we have Princess Bubblegum, or Princess Bonnibel Bubblegum, who is apparently a mix of human and candy DNA, whatever that means. And she rules the Candy Kingdom, which is inhabited by other candy-like people. So she is described as being a very kind and compassionate queen, but is a very strong advocate and can get fairly aggressive when there's something that she wants to fight for. So this again is a really nicely captured of the character in a pop version. The Funko Pop aesthetic, I think, really lends itself to specifically the Adventure Time characters and kind of the wonky, imagery of the series. So here is Princess Bubblegum. So another princess in this fictional world is called Flame Princess. So Flame Princess is actually the ex-girlfriend of Finn when he's a little bit older, and was introduced. They were introduced to each other by Jake, the dog creature. But anyway, she rules the Fire Kingdom. So here is the Flame Princess. So yet another princess character that has their own Funko Pop from the series. Here is Lumpy Space Princess. So you might be asking, what in the world is that? So this is a princess. She's the princess of Lumpy Space, which is another realm in this fictional world. And Jake and Finn often visit her in Lumpy Space realm. And she is a odd character, to say the least. She's very, she looks like a cloud, essentially a purple cloud, and has kind of a deeper voice, as the Lumpy Space people have deeper voices. So I would describe Lumpy Space Princess as kind of a brat. So she kind of acts very bratty and entitled in the series, and just very teenager-like. So anyway, a cool character and a nice Funko Pop version. So the next couple characters that I want to show you is the gender-swapped version of Jake and Finn. So we have Fiona, who again is the female version of Finn, who was created by the Ice King, which we'll get to in a second. He also has his own pop. So she was apparently created by the Ice King, and she also has a kind of stretchy, shape-shifting companion, a cat named Cake. Or I think this is a cat. So Fiona and Cake are in some of the episodes, and so they kind of have their own adventures in this world of O. And so this is actually the characters that are supposed to be starring in the spin-off series, Fiona and Cake in Adventure Time. So you can see she also has kind of the white hoodie. This time it's got bunny ears. And she's got a pink sword, but still has the backpack. And then Cake is just a very odd-looking character. So now we're going to talk about some of the villains of the series. So they came out with some of these villain characters. The first one being the Ice King and his pet penguin Gunter. So we're going to take a look at these guys. So here's the Ice King, who is one of the antagonists in the series, who's kind of a villain to Finn, and just a really weird, really long nose on this guy. So really weird character. And then he has a bunch of penguins in his ice realm, and there's one penguin, Gunter, that is kind of his personal assistant, which they made a pop of as well. So one of the nastiest villains in this series is the Lich King. So here is the Lich King, very gross, grotesque looking character, He's actually voiced by Ron Perlman, who was in Sons of Anarchy and was Hellboy in the first couple of movies. But the Lich King, he doesn't want to rule the world, he wants to just destroy it. So he's just a very violent, very evil character in the series. There was a pop that I don't have, which was a Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive, a green version of the Lich, the Green Lich King. I don't really recall the significance if there even is one in the series offhand, but this was a really neat pop, and they captured this character very well in pop form. So one of the annoying characters in the series that's kind of a bad guy in some way, but so he's the Earl of Lemongrad. So he's another, I don't know if the longer your nose, the more villainous you are apparently in this world. But so here's the Earl of Lemongrad. He's kind of a lemon-ish character. He's pretty obnoxious, paranoid, high-strung, would be ways to describe him in the show. So he was created by Princess Bubblegum, and it was one of her first experiments to go awry and go wrong. So at one point in the series, he's actually, due to a technicality, able to take over the Princess Bubblegum's Candy Kingdom. But when she turns 18 again, she takes it back over, and he goes back to Lemongrad, which is an area in the world. So here is the Earl of Lemongrad. And the last few pops I want to show you from this series are various versions of BMO. So the main character's video game friend. So I'm surprised that Funko has not made more BMO pops. The newest wave that was just announced, along with the classic cartoon lines from the Cartoon Network, have at least two BMOs that we know of. One, which we're going to take a look at in a little bit. One as a cook and one as an archer. But the BMOs I want to show you from the first couple waves. First up is BMO Noir. So in this episode, BMO plays a detective, and he's trying to find one of Finn's missing socks. But it was black and white in this, and so the pop captures it perfectly. So here is BMO Noir. The next BMO is not one that I believe was ever in the series. I don't remember seeing a pink BMO, but this was a Hot Topic exclusive, and I think it was due to it might have been around Valentine's Day, so I think it might have been a Valentine's Day drop for Hot Topic. But this is titled Blushing BMO, so definitely a neat, really neat pop. And finally, we have Jake as BMO. So as you know, Jake, Finn's dog friend and adoptive brother, is a shape changer, and so he can change his shape to whatever he wants. And so in this pop, he is BMO. So here is Jake as BMO. So he's got the dog, his face in the rest of the pop is just an orange BMO mold. Now there's also a zombie Jake version as well, and I think there might be some other super rare variants of the Adventure Time Pops, but for the most part, this is the complete set of common, regular main characters. So these have been harder and harder to get, and their values have been climbing, and I think that's going to continue, especially with the newest wave that just was dropped from the classic cartoon reveals over the past couple of days from Funko. So here's an image of the newest wave that's coming out for Adventure Time. So as you can see, we have a new, this time he's in a chef outfit. Again, like I mentioned, there's another name, Archer outfit, that's going to be a Hot Topic exclusive. There's also another Jake, who he's playing video games and has headphones on. There's a Princess Lumpy Space, really creepy version of her with her sharp teeth showing. And then there's a short-haired Princess Bubblegum, and then Finn the Last Human. So as you can see, these are cool pops, but for someone that was going to collect this set, I would want to have the regular versions of these characters and not just the variant versions that are the newer ones coming out. So I'm glad that I already have these. But it's definitely a wave that I'm going to pick up as it comes out, hopefully catching it during Hot Cash or Box Lunch Money in the future when it's available to pre-order. So let me know what you think about this video. How many of the Adventure Time Pops do you have, or is this a set that you're wanting to collect? Or maybe you're gonna pick up the new wave and start to pick away at getting some of the older versions as well. So make sure again to like this channel and click the subscribe button for future Funko Pop and pop related content. Again, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.